Welcome to my video, How to Start a Successful Coaching Business from the Ground Up. Let's go. The problem with a lot of coaching businesses is that they're not sustainable or they're not scalable. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to create a coaching business that is aligned for you. I'm going to get into how to choose your niche, how to build the right business model that's aligned with your personality and your strengths and your gifts, how to package and price your services, how to market yourself, and ultimately how to deliver great service. And at the end of this video, I have a handy dandy gift for you that's going to support you in launching your coaching practice. Let's go. My name is Michelle Villalobos, and I've worked with a ton of coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors to build successful coaching practices. And there is one issue that I come across again and again and again, and that is lack of alignment. And what that means is that a lot of people try to take a cookie cutter approach to building their coaching business. They base their coaching business model or their brand on what they've seen others do without really looking deeply into whether it's a right fit for them. And quite honestly, that's my story. I did that when I started my coaching business. I tried to be somebody I wasn't. I wore a suit and I had a very corporate website because I was trying to be this corporate executive coach, when at the end of the day, that's not my personality. And it took me a few years to realize that. My hope in this video, especially in this first point that I want to share with you, is to help you align your coaching business with who you really are so that it's sustainable, scalable, and joyful for a long time. So the first thing to think about when you're identifying your ideal coaching business, how to structure it, how to create it, is what I call the superstar sweet spot. The superstar sweet spot is where three things come together and meet perfectly. The first thing is you. So when I say you, what I'm talking about is all the things that are internal to you. That means your strengths, your gifts, your preferences, your personality. And actually, I'm going to include in here your purpose too. These are things that matter to you, that are internal to you, that have nothing to do with the external world. And one of the biggest problems I see people do is that they try to build a business, a coaching practice from the outside in. Instead of asking the question, what am I best at? What do I love? What jazzes me up? What makes me come alive? They ask, what would the market buy? What would other people want from me? What could I sell that people would buy? Those are all external questions. And when we begin from the outside in, we can possibly create a business that isn't aligned with our truest self. So step one is coming up with you. The second thing to look at is the business, meaning what kind of business will support you, right? What kind of revenues do you want to make? How big do you want to go? It's a very different thing to think about a business that's going to be $1 million versus a business that's going to be $100 million. It's a different business model. It's a different scale. So inside the business, we're looking at business model and we're looking at your brand, which is basically the expression of you out into the world. And of course, we can't talk about business and brand and business models without also bringing in the third factor, which is the market. What does the market need and want and respond to? This is market gaps, market opportunities. This is where you'd want to look at quote unquote competitors. I use the word quote unquote because I think a lot of times who we think are our competitors could actually be collaborators when we have a strong enough brand and niche. So this is an overview of the three core components of coming up with your superstar sweet spot, which is the core of your business value proposition. Now would be a great time for you to hit the subscribe button and like this video. And maybe even shoot me a comment below, either now or later in the video. Let me know how this applies to you. Thanks. You need to have clarity about who you are and your strengths and gifts, like I said earlier. And sometimes I just want to point out that this isn't so obvious or so easy for you to do by yourself. This is an area where it can be really helpful to have a mentor give you some perspective from the outside in. So the next thing I want to focus on here is the business model. This is because the business model is one of the biggest places, opportunities for growth and improvement that I see. Most of the time when people decide that they want to start a coaching practice, they go straight to the most typical business model, which is a one-on-one coaching practice. That can be a great way to get started. And in fact, if you are starting, as you might be, from the ground up, that's where I recommend you start. And I want to invite you to consider what can happen later. A one-on-one model is not going to be very sustainable for very long. I would recommend giving yourself about 6 months to 1 year to do a one-on-one model while you build up your processes and systems and case studies and testimonials, and then have an eye towards what comes next. And in my world, one of my absolute favorite business models for coaching that allows you to scale is a group model. Even if you're starting right now with one-on-one, I want you to start thinking about growing this model into a group model. And by the way, if you're already there, where you've already been doing one-on-one coaching and you've been doing it for a while, and maybe you're maxing out and you don't have a lot of time left and you want to grow, then I highly recommend checking out some of my videos on group coaching business models. Once you've clarified your niche, your focus, the area that you both love and that you're ideally suited to coach on, and you've looked at the market and its conditions, it's time to create your packages and your pricing. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, a lot of coaches like to sell time for money. They like to sell packages of sessions or packages of hours. I highly discourage that practice. Number one, it's draining. And the only way that you can make more money is to sell more time. Number two, it's not the best way to become the best at what you do. The way that I recommend you price and you package your services is based on outcomes. I like to say, sell the outcomes, not the hours. So what that looks like is, instead of selling a package of sessions or a bunch of your time, instead packaging together your value proposition into at least 2 basic packages. The first basic package is your introductory package. It's your level 1. It's where everybody starts. I call this your breakthrough. Now, once you get really good at delivering your breakthrough, you can raise the price on that. So I recommend coming up with some sort of breakthrough program. Now, to give you an example, because you don't want to price it based on your time, a breakthrough program could be, for example, your Jumpstart package. And your Jumpstart package can be everything you need to get started in this area that I'm going to coach you on. So I'll give you an example. When I started coaching in this new way, I created a Jumpstart package, and in that Jumpstart package, everybody would create their core brand positioning. And then from that breakthrough package, I had a mastery level package, which was a longer engagement and it was a bigger commitment. It was actually a 1-year-long program during which they would execute what we came up with in the breakthrough package. So the breakthrough was to create the strategy and the mastery was to execute it. I highly recommend thinking about your business in this way, in terms of what breakthrough experience or experiences or outcomes can I deliver that are in a short amount of time, that have a high perceived value. You can put a nice price point on that. I usually recommend about $2,000 or $2,500 for a good breakthrough outcome. And then some sort of mastery program that's monthly recurring revenue. Now, if you are starting a coaching business from scratch, I cannot stress enough the importance of monthly recurring revenue. When you have monthly recurring revenue, it gives you stability, it gives you room to breathe. You don't have to be worried about hustling about next month's revenues or the months after. You can have revenues coming in every single month, and that allows you to pay somebody to support you, which is another big problem I see with a lot of coaches, is that they're trying to do it all themselves. So breakthrough package, mastery package, one-time payment or sometimes a payment plan, and some sort of ongoing monthly recurring revenue is what I recommend. One other really important thing you need to get your coaching business off the ground is a steady supply of new clients. Now, I'm not going to go deep into that in this video because it could be its own video, and in fact, it is its own video. You can check out my video, How to Market My Coaching Business, and you can check that out by clicking on the link above. And another note on that topic is that once you get your business going, it is way easier to retain a client than it is to get a new one. One of the biggest things that I see coaches do is constantly looking for new clients, constantly trying to do their marketing to get new people in the door. And part of that is because they're not doing a very good job of retaining clients. So you remember how I mentioned about having a breakthrough and a mastery? Well, I also recommend having an even bigger back end, which is where your clients that you retain go to, and having some sort of culture, community, or group where you keep clients for the long haul. If you're looking to build or grow a successful, sustainable coaching practice that delivers massive transformation to your clients, let's connect. You can find me at superstaractivator.com/go, and you can even book a free 15-minute call with me there so we can explore and you can ask me questions about how to grow your business. Enjoy.